Welcome one, welcome all to Max's Mic. I'm Max, and I have the mic. Today is Sunday, week 4 of the NFL season, and we're talking about some fantasy football. Opening it up. First, starting with the quarterback position, and if you listen to Sunday NFL Countdown, you will find that Rex Ryan is going to disagree with this pick, but I'm going to go with Andy Dalton. Cincinnati's defense, especially the pass defense, has not been strong this season and has been lacking at moments. And Andy Dalton showed up last week, took on what was a fairly solid Raiders defense, and carved them up like a pumpkin. So I'm going to be going with Dalton, my quarterback. At the running back position, I'm going with James Conner, solely because this Washington's run defense is not that great. Really kind of lacking, so we're going with James Conner. Next running back, just simply because I'm going to have the money by saving it later and going with some crazy picks, I'm going to go with Breece Hall. Interesting strategy that I'm going with this week, but I'm going to save some money going with some interesting picks and some risky picks. We're deciding to spend big on Breece Hall. Now we're going into the wide receivers. And we'll jump to the flex real quick, another running back. We're going with Aaron Jones this week. Going back to Green Bay, I just kind of like Aaron Jones this week. He's been really hot, really good, really productive, and getting a lot of use in this Minnesota Vikings offense, both through running the ball and through passing. So that's why I'm going with him. Now to the wide receivers. Starting with a guy from Philly, due to the fact that both Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are going to be out this week, we should see an uptick in production with Dallas Goedert. So tight end managers, tight end guys looking for somebody to go off, Dallas Goedert is going to be big. But for anyone looking for a wide receiver, I'm going to go Jahan Dotson, who was listed wide receiver 3 in this depth chart, has now been moved to wide receiver 1 due to injuries. And with a great quarterback like Jalen Hurts, I got faith in Jahan Dotson to go off. Next wide receiver, I'm going to be sticking with Jauan Jennings. Still think that he's going to produce, although with Debo back, could prove a little risky. However, I'd be nervous about Debo's production. I'd be nervous about George Kittle being fully healthy, and I don't exactly know what's going with Brandon Ayuk. So Jauan Jennings could be a safe play here. Some other guys that I like, Rashid Shaheed, although he did not do all that well last week, or he did nothing last week. Chris Olave is starting, but a little banged up. Another guy that you could easily go with is Jakobi Meyers. With Davante Adams out this week, could see some uptick in his game. Could see some real uptick as he now moves into the wide receiver 1 spot. So I got a feeling that he's going to have a big boost this week. So Jakobi Meyers could easily be another guy to go with. Now to the final wide receiver spot. I'm going with the Carolina stack, and I'm going with Xavier Legette. Deontay Johnson seems to be a little banged up, and Adam Thielen is on the IR. So rookie who can be a sensation, Xavier Legette, could see an uptick in targets this week, and I got a feeling he's going to do put up big numbers with an increase in production this week. Going with the tight end spot, we're going to Las Vegas with just the fact that, well, his production seems to be up, and Davante Adams being out injured this week. Brock Bowers is, I believe, going to go off this week. Brock Bowers put up some great numbers last week, and he really is, as advertised, a really solid tight end coming out of Georgia. And I think that, well, he's going to continue to put up this great production. There's not really many tight ends that I would trust this week, if any. I'm liking Brock Bowers. I'm a little nervous about Kittle. Liking Dallas Goedert. You could easily sub him in. Honestly, liking Kyle Pitts. Kind of liking Kyle Pitts. Kind of liking Cole Kmet. Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz could be guys that are going to produce, but I'm nervous about production. A lot of tight ends in the league are not getting a lot of targets. They're fantasy points and productions are primarily solely based off of the fact that they're scoring touchdowns. For instance, Kyle Pitts last week had 7 points because he had 2 catches, and one of them was for 50 yards, so he had a little over 7 points. Had he caught that ball in the end zone, that's another, 8 points right there, and he's up to, is that 15? So now that's a really good week, but because he doesn't get a touchdown, it's 7. So looking for guys that are going to get in the end zone, looking for guys that are going to get an uptick in targets, Brock Bowers, Goddard. And I'm just being faithful that slowly Kyle Pitts is going to work his way back into some high production, and Kirk is going to figure out who he should really be throwing to, not Ray McCloud, but to Kyle Pitts, who I feel is just a better receiver all around. But I'm going to be sticking with Brock Bowers. And finally, the defense. If you're sticking with this lineup, you're going to be questioning, who did I pick to be my defense? Well, I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. Coming into the season, questions about this Vikings team. We knew, well, the offense, Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison, hopefully being healthy, is going to find its way to produce no matter who the quarterback was or is. But there were some real questions around this defense, and I'm here to tell you that you should not be worried about this defense. You should be confident with this defense. Now, Jordan Love is back, but his mobility is a question. And we could end up seeing Malik Willis come in for a little bit. And even still, I think that this might be the best defense that Malik Willis has faced. I think this is the best defense that the Packers as a team have faced all season. The Packers, having gone against the Titans, the Colts, and the Eagles. The Eagles were a pretty solid defense, but then again, 29 points dropped on the Eagles defense. This Eagles defense has been shaky, to say the least. Secondary has been a little concerning. So I believe that this Vikings defense could be the best defense that the Packers have faced so far this season. And Vikings defense could be a top 5, top 6, 7 defense in the league. Really don't know many defenses that are better. So I'm feeling pretty confident going with them. So those are my picks. That's what I'm thinking. Some other defenses you might be able to go with. I mean, I like the Niners if you could sacrifice in some other places and get the money. I like the Niners. The Steelers could be a decent pick. The Raiders could be decent too, although I don't know. They put up -4 points last week. The Colts, I don't really know, and anyone else, I'm a little iffy on. So if you free up some money, you could go with the Niners. The Jets could be a decent pick. They've got a really solid defense, but I'm liking the Vikings. I'm liking the Vikings. You could go with the Eagles. Broncos defense showed some flaws in that Buccaneers offense, so the Eagles could also be a pretty valid pick. So those are my thoughts. My lineup again that I'm going to lock in: Andy Dalton, James Conner, Breece Hall, Jahan Dotson, Xavier Legette. I'm going to be going with Jauan Jennings. I had Jacoby Myers in for a bit, but I'm going to be locking in Jauan Jennings, Brock Bowers, Aaron Jones, and the Vikings defense. Hope everybody enjoys their Sunday, enjoys a great slate of football. I'll see you later tonight for my predictions for Sunday Night Football. Till then, take care. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.